You don't notice him at first. No loud entrance, no need for attention, no desperate energy trying to prove something. But give it a few minutes, and somehow people start paying attention anyway, not because he asked for it, because he earned it. That's the difference most people miss. Respect isn't something you demand, it's something you radiate, and Sigma males understand this better than anyone. While others chase validation, approval, and status, the Sigma moves differently, quietly, intentionally, strategically, and without saying much, he makes people feel his presence. So, what exactly are these subtle behaviors that command instant respect? Let's get into it. First, he doesn't overshare. In a world where everyone is talking, posting, explaining, and seeking attention, the Sigma chooses silence. He speaks when it matters. And because of that, every word carries weight. People lean in because they know he's not talking just to be heard. Second, he controls his emotions. Not fake, not cold, just in control. When others react impulsively, get triggered, or lose composure, the Sigma stays grounded. And that calm energy, it's powerful. It tells everyone in the room this person is not easily shaken, and people respect that. Third, he walks away when necessary. No drama, no chasing, no begging. If something disrespects him, a situation, a conversation, a person, he simply removes himself. That silent exit, it speaks louder than any argument ever could. Fourth, he listens more than he speaks. Most people listen to reply. The Sigma listens to understand. He observes tone, body language, intention. And because of that, when he finally speaks, it hits differently. Fifth, he sets boundaries without explaining himself. No long justifications, no overthinking. A simple no is enough, and that level of self respect forces others to respect him too. Sixth, he improves in silence, no announcements, no showing off. While others talk about what they plan to do, the Sigma is already doing it, learning, growing, building, and when the results show up, they speak for him. Finally, he is comfortable being alone, not lonely, not isolated, just independent. He doesn't need a crowd to feel valuable. He doesn't need constant validation to feel worthy. And that kind of self sufficiency, it's rare, and rare things are respected. So here's the real question. Are you trying to be respected, or are you becoming the kind of person who naturally earns it? If this made you think, drop a comment. Which of these traits do you already have, and which one are you working on? He doesn't seek approval. Most people are controlled by something they don't even notice. The need for approval. They think twice before speaking. They hesitate before acting. They constantly ask themselves, what will people think? And slowly, without realizing it, they stop being themselves. But the Sigma male, he broke out of that mindset a long time ago. He doesn't shape his personality to fit into rooms. He doesn't change his values to please people. And he doesn't seek validation to feel important. Because he understands something most people don't. If you live for people's approval, you will always live under their control. That's why he chooses authenticity over acceptance. Sometimes people agree with him, sometimes they don't, but it doesn't shake him. And that's exactly what makes people respect him. Because when someone stands firm in who they are without trying to impress anyone, it sends a powerful message. I know who I am, and I don't need you to confirm it. And deep down, everyone admires that, even if they don't say it. He stays unpredictable. People feel comfortable when they can predict you. If they know how you'll react, if they know what you'll say, if they can read you easily, then they feel in control. And once people feel in control of you, they stop respecting you. The Sig male understands this dynamic very well. That's why he never reveals everything. He doesn't over-explain his decisions. He doesn't react emotionally to every situation, and he doesn't feel the need to show all his cards. Sometimes he speaks. Sometimes he stays silent. Sometimes he walks away without warning. And that unpredictability creates something powerful, presence. People start paying more attention to him. They become more careful around him. They respect the fact that they can't fully figure him out because mystery creates value. And in a world where everyone shares everything, being unreadable becomes a form of power. He focuses on results, not talk. We live in a world full of noise. People talk about their goals every day. They announce their plans. They promise big things. But most of the time, nothing happens. It's all words. The Sigma male doesn't fall into that trap. He doesn't feel the need to tell people what he's about to do because he knows something simple. Talking creates temporary attention. Results create lasting respect. So instead of explaining his vision, he builds it quiet mornings, long nights. No audience, no applause, just work. And while others are busy posting, talking, and seeking validation, he's moving forward. Then one day, the results show up, and suddenly people notice. Not because he told them, but because they can see it. And that's the difference. Anyone can talk, very few can prove, and respect always follows proof. He respects himself first. Most people wait for others to respect them. They try to be nice, they try to please, they try to fit in, hoping that somehow people will value them. But it doesn't work like that. The Sigma male learned this the hard way. If you don't respect yourself, no one else will. That's why he sets boundaries. He doesn't tolerate disrespect. Not from friends, not from strangers, not from anyone. If something feels wrong, he addresses it. If a situation drains him, he leaves. If someone crosses the line, he doesn't ignore it, not aggressively, but clearly. Because self-respect is not about ego, it's about standards. And once people see that you have standards, they start treating you differently because they know you won't accept less. And that quiet confidence, it commands respect without needing to ask for it. He doesn't follow the crowd. Following the crowd is easy. You don't have to think. You don't have to take risks. You just do what everyone else is doing. And for most people, that feels safe. But the Sigma male doesn't chase safety. He chases alignment. He steps back and observes. He questions things most people accept blindly. He chooses based on what makes sense to him, not what's popular. And sometimes that means walking alone. No support, no validation, no guarantee. But he's okay with that because he knows something powerful. The crowd doesn't create leaders, it creates followers. And if you want to stand out, you have to be willing to stand alone. That's why he builds his own path, different, quiet, independent, and in the end, that's exactly what makes people respect him. He chooses silence over drama. Most people react instantly. They argue, they defend themselves. They try to prove a point, and most of the time, it turns into noise. But the Sigma male understands something deeper. Not every situation deserves your energy. That's why he doesn't engage in unnecessary drama. If someone disrespects him just to get a reaction, he doesn't give it. If a conversation goes nowhere, he doesn't force it. If people try to pull him into chaos, he steps back, not because he's weak, but because he's in control. He knows that reacting emotionally gives others power over him. And silence keeps that power in his hands. Sometimes he'll respond, but only when it matters. And that's what makes it powerful. Because when someone doesn't react to everything, people start realizing this person is not easy to provoke. And that alone earns respect. He moves with purpose. Look around. Most people are busy, but not focused. They move without direction. They start things and don't finish. They waste time without even noticing. But the Sigma male, every move has a reason. He doesn't rush, he doesn't act randomly, and he doesn't follow distractions. When he decides to do something, he commits fully. Whether it's improving himself, building something, or chasing a goal, he moves with intention. And that creates a different kind of presence. You can feel it. He's not just doing things, he's going somewhere. And people respect that. Because purpose is rare, most people drift. Very few move with direction. And when someone knows exactly what they're doing without needing to explain it, it creates a silent authority. The kind that doesn't need attention, but gets it anyway. So now you've seen the difference. It's not about being loud. It's not about chasing attention. And it's definitely not about proving yourself to everyone. Real respect comes from how you move, how you think, and what you tolerate. The question is, are you just watching these traits, or are you actually becoming them? If this video made you see things differently, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more content like this, and tell me in the comments, which one of these traits do you already have, and which one are you working on next?